You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Iron Lady sings that makes it official as always. The Chris Voss Show loves its audience so much. We love you so much that we've decided that we're going to just make more podcasts over and over again. I don't know. It sounded funny in my head at the time, but it doesn't come out right. Anyway, guys, we have some amazing authors that are on the show with us, today. And we've got some more amazing people coming up, the CEOs, the billionaires. And we've got another billionaire evidently lined up on the show. So stay tuned for that. We're just waiting for that booking. It's a Tech Valley CEO, Silicon Valley CEO is the tease I'll give. That's all I can tell you at this point in time. But the billionaires, the White House presidential advisors, the CEOs, the authors, the Pulitzer Prize winners, all the brilliant people are always on the show, sharing their stories, sharing their entertainment stuff to give you guys things to listen to, as always. So that's very important. Today we have an amazing author on the show, and she's going to be a burgeoning multi-book author that we're going to be talking to about her stuff that's going on there. She's the author of the newest book that comes out March 4th, 2024. It's Margaret Izard is on the show with us today, and she's going to be talking to us about her book, Stone of Love. And it's part of the Stones of Iona series?
Iona.
There you go. So we're going to be getting into it with her, talking about the rundown of her book and what's going to be inside of it. She is an award-winning author of historical fantasy and paranormal romance novels. She spent her early years through college to adulthood dedicated to dance, theater, and performing. Over the years, she developed a love for great storytelling in different mediums. She does not waste a good story, be it in the movement, the spoken or the written word. She discovered historical romance novels in middle school, which combined her desire for romance, drama, and fantasy. She writes exciting plot lines, steamy love scenes, and always falls for a strong male with a soft heart. She lives in Houston, Texas, with her husband and adult triplets. Wait, what? And loves to hear from readers. Welcome to the show. How are you, Margaret?
Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing excellent today. So give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
MargaretIzardAuthor.com. That's MargaretIzard author.com. My social media is Mizard Author. So it's like wizard, but it's M for magic. So MIZARD Author.
There you go.
And that's where you can find me.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview of your new book.
Well, my new book, it's a paranormal romance. It takes place in Scotland. It features an American scholar who travels to Scotland in order to renovate a Scottish lord's castle. And as they do this, the Scottish lord finds out that his hereditary duty is to find and protect magic Iona stones, these magic Fae stones. So the Fae charge him with a task to travel to the past in order to find some missing stones. And he travels to the past. He assumes an identity of his identical ancestor. And the main female, Brielle, accidentally trips and follows him back in time.
Oh.
Yes. So together, they fight the evil Fae to save the realms.
I hate it when that happens. So there's that. So it's definitely, what genre would you put this into?
Oh, it's paranormal romance, and it actually pops somewhere between Outlander and The Witcher.
There you go. Is there by chance maybe a phone near your microphone?
A what?
A phone or a phone device near your microphone? We're picking up a lot of noise coming in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is there a phone near your microphone at all or something?
Yeah, but it's not on.
Huh? Because we're picking it pretty hard. Is there a microphone we can switch to?
Yeah, actually, this is an external. Sorry.
No problem at all.
Hopefully, if I take it out.
All right. So we probably need to switch microphones on your end, Margaret. And you'll probably need to do that in settings if you can still hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. It would be in the settings thing below. You'd have to find the audio plug-in for the other mic. Let's see, Margaret. I'm gonna give you my number, Margaret, and call me on that line. Testing 1, 2, 3. 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 If you can, Margaret, try going back to your original. Try going back to your original microphone. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm still not getting audio from you. If you can hear me, let's try going back to your original microphone. Somehow it started picking up static. Like as soon as we went live, it just started cracking like every word you were saying. But let's try going back to it. Maybe it picked up static. Maybe it picked up, I don't know what. It's rare that I would see that. I think it's a blue whatchamacallit, which are never good mics. They used to be back in the day. A blue Yeti, I think it is. It maybe helps. Sometimes if you leave the lobby and then come back, sometimes that'll reset it, or sometimes a redo the thing. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So are we on a new mic now?
We're on the original mic.
Okay. All right. And I'm not getting that feedback.
Okay.
It's really weird.
Sorry.
No, this is electronics. Sometimes it's usually when I hear that, it's like a phone has gotten near the mic and it's picking up static from the phone. So
There we
So
go.
just give me a little bit more audio if you would. Give me a few lines of just explaining anything and everything.
Okay.
I want to see if that
The
mic's
book
gonna.
comes out Monday, March 4th. I'm actually hosting a Facebook party on my Facebook, and we're
Okay.
doing some prizes and some giveaways as we do that.
Okay. So I'm going to do this. There's a few people on us listening, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recut the show from the top. Because as soon as we went live and you started talking, that mic started just frazzling. So maybe there was some static or I don't know, some sort of issue with the computer or whatever, but it seems to resolve itself. Sometimes you have to unplug things to take out the static. I get that with my screen sometimes. So I'm just going to restart the show at the beginning, if you don't mind.
No,
We'll just
as you
recut
don't.
it and
I
then fix
apologize.
it. And no, don't worry about it. This is electronics. This is the crap that happens. Remember, computers are supposed to make your life easier. So I'm just going to recut the show. And we're just going to pretend like we're just going to start from the beginning, and then no one will be the wiser if they start watching in the middle. And so the people that are watching can just enjoy the magic of television and radio. All right, so I'll go quiet for a few seconds. I'll go quiet for a few seconds. All right, and then we'll just hit it.
You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
I'm Moses Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There we go. Then the Iron Lady sings, and ladies and gentlemen, that makes it official. Welcome to the show. We certainly appreciate you guys. Remember, the Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you but doesn't judge you. At least not as harshly as your mother-in-law, because, we all know she didn't like you anyway. She wanted her to marry Bob, and Bob went on to become that banker, that investment banker, made all that money. So she's going to hold it against you for life. But you know what they get it on her good side is refer the show to her and her family and friends. And that way, she'll maybe appreciate you more, or maybe not, but she'll like me. So that's all that's really I'm looking for. Go to goodreads.com / Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com / Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok, and Chris Voss, Facebook.com. As always, we have the most smartest, brilliant minds on the show. None of them are me, but that's why we do guests, people. See what we did there? We have an amazing, burgeoning, great author coming on the show. She's going to be talking to us about her newest book that's launching March 4th, 2024. It's called Stone of Love, the Stones of Iona series. Margaret Izard is on the show with us today. She'll be talking to her about her amazing book, and she is an award-winning author of historical fantasy and paranormal romance novels. She spent her early years through college to adulthood dedicated to dance, theater, and performing. Over the years, she developed a love story for great storytelling in different mediums. She does not waste a good story, be it movement, the spoken, or written word. She discovered historical romance novels in middle school, which combined her desire for romance, drama, and fantasy. She writes exciting plot lines, steamy love scenes, and always falls for a strong male with a soft heart. What do you got against weak males? Come on, man. With hard hearts. Weak males with hard hearts. She lives in Houston, Texas with her husband and adult triplets. Oh my gosh. And loves to hear from readers. Welcome to the show. Margaret, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I am excellent. Welcome to the show. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at margaretizardauthor.com. That's MargaretIzard author.com. My social handle is Mizard Author. So it's not wizard, but it's M for magic. So it's Mizard Author. Mizard.
Let's see what you did there. Margaret Izard. So there you go. Maybe it's a female version of wizard, Mizard. I don't know. You just make it up. You can do whatever you want, right?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, my husband's name is William. So
really?
he goes by wizard.
So
yeah.
He's a wizard and you're a Mizard. I see. It's the new what do they call it? Mr. and Mrs. I don't know. There's a term for it. But to welcome the show, congratulations on the new book. And I understand this is going to be a book in a series that you've got outlined. So there's going to be more to come.
Yes, there's more to come. This is the first book. It's the debut book of the paranormal romance series, Stones of Iona. And Stone of Love will be coming Monday. And Stone of Fear will be coming in June 12th. There's a Christmas companion novel coming this Christmas season. And Stone of Lust, book 3 in the series, will come sometime in early 2025.
There you go. Stone of Lust. That's the one I'm looking for now. I'm just kidding. There you go. There you go. It'll be available on OnlyFans later on this year. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. No, we just use that as a callback joke. We love OnlyFans callback jokes. So give us a 30,000 overview of what's in your new book and what's inside that we'll find. Stone of Love.
Stone of Love takes place in Scotland. It features an American scholar who travels to Scotland to fix and renovate a Scottish lord's old 13th century chapel. And during this process, when she comes and renovates his chapel, he finds out that he has a hereditary duty to protect magic fae stones called the Iona stones. Oh. And so the fae task him with the task to find these missing magic stones. And he has to travel back in time to assume the identity of his identical ancestor. And while he's back in time trying to fight the evil fae and find the stone in order to save the realms, Brielle, the American scholar, accidentally trips and follows him back in time.
Ah, so she's not really stalking him. She's just, it was an accident, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe the player behind it, but yeah.
Yeah. This is what people usually tell me when I have a restraining order. They use that story. No, I'm just kidding. The jokes, people, the jokes. So this sounds really cool. And there's a bit of magic and mystery and romance, I guess. Is there romance
Definitely
in here?
Romance.
That would explain the steamy lust scenes, as you alluded to in the biography. Maybe?
Well, yes, there's, it's interesting because I talk about this to some writers, and it turns out to be really kind of interesting conversation. I spent some time, you as writers, you go through the process of trying to learn writing, and, you try and make your book better. And so I spent some time mentoring under an erotica romance writer, a New York Times bestselling writer. And so I mentored with her some in order to kind of try and make my steamy scenes a little bit better and a little bit more, fuller and just more exciting. And the interesting thing that I found out with working with her is, the first thing I sent her was a steamy scene. And she's like, no, I have to know what happens before. I have to know what brings meaning and how these people connect and what makes a difference to them before we get to the actual part of the intimacy. And so the interesting thing that I learned from, of all things, an erotica writer, is that what's more important than the intimacy part is what makes them connect and what makes people connect and how people connect and how they find love and how they fall in love. And so intimacy, while it's a wonderful and a great, wonderful step towards any kind of romance and relationship, it's not the only thing.
There you go.
But yes, but I do write some steamy scenes, and my books are definitely for mature audiences.
There you go.
It's really about how you go through life, you do your things, and you connect with people. And as you do life, you kind of find love along the way.
There you go. Yeah, you can't go right to the 50 Shades of Grey, Whips of Chains, or Sex on the Beach. You gotta lead up, people. You gotta have some foreplay or something, in the mind. I was kind of a little disappointed when I saw the book's title was Stone in Love, and I thought it was a book about a guy in love with his bong, but his marijuana bong. But this sounds like a much more interesting story.
Thank you. The Stone of Love is actually the stone that they're searching. And so each of the books, Stone of Fear, that's the stone that they're searching in that book, and Stone of Lust, there's a lust stone. I know you'll be enjoying that one.
Yeah, I like that. Anything with lust in it, I enjoy. Yeah.
But yeah, there's actually 7 stones that they'll be searching. So there's 7 books.
All right, there you go. And it's all. I guess 3 or 4 of them are technically in the can. Is that how it works? Where they're scheduled for release?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. I've actually written ahead. When I first contracted the first book, I had already drafted the first 3.
There you go.
And so I'm actually all the way into drafting book 6 right now. And there's 7 books in the series, plus there's 3 Christmas companion books.
So there'll be 7 total series plus 3 companion books for a total of 10. Is that right? There you go. So doing this as your first novel, what was it like creating the characters? How did you pick them? What were some of the things you used to build them out?
Well, actually, a lot of information that I got concerning the McDougall family, which is the Scottish family that previously owned Dunstafnage Castle, which is where the chapel is, and where the novel takes place in Scotland. It's near Oban, Scotland.
Mhm.
This is really a castle ruin. In the book, it's actually not a ruin. The chapel is a ruin.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the characters are based upon who their ancestors are in the past, who their current people are. It's sort of loosely based a little bit on just some of their names. But the history that is
Mhm.
involved when we do travel to the past is actually pretty accurate.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where my inspiration started. I came up with the concept of the magic stones when I read about the Stone of Destiny, which is the coronation stone, which is the stone that the king sits on in order to be crowned.
Mhm.
It actually traveled through Dunstafnage Castle back in the 1700s, and
Oh,
that's where
really?
the inspiration for this concept of these magic stones. And so I thought, this stone, it traveled through Dunstafnage to the Isle of Iona. And so I came up with this concept of, what if the stone was magic, and what if there were multiple stones and they were magic? And so I wanted to include this folklore of the Fae and
Now, what is
you
a
know,
fae?
Fae fairies.
Fairies. Okay, there
Uh-huh.
you go. I need to read up more on the whole fairy thing and what a fae is. Now is a fae a fairy, like kind of like what I saw in like The Hobbit and stuff, the movie?
Yes.
There
Yes, it
you go.
is kind of like that. Hmm.
Yeah, there you go. And so they go through this journey. Now, why does this genre you find appeals to you the most?
Paranormal romance. It, just the whole concept of the folklore and being able to
Mhm.
involve the folklore of the Fae from Scotland.
Mhm.
A lot of the stories that come into play, some of the fables are from some of the lore of Scotland. I like the concept of the paranormal aspect, that I can do the time travel and that it becomes timeless, and
Mhm.
that love becomes timeless, and just exploring people's destiny and
Mhm.
whether their destiny, and it just seems that looking at time travel and involving the Fae and the paranormal, it takes it to a level above and beyond what normal everyday life, so it becomes an escape. But the concept is that you find fate,
Mhm.
and you find fated love,
Oh.
and your destiny is found, whether you're in this time or you're in another time.
Ah, there you go. So when you were young, did you write? What made you first decide you were becoming a writer? Was paranormal activity something you were always interested in, or was there something that triggered
Oh,
that?
I've always been interested in drama and fantasy and telling
Mhm.
stories. I started dancing when I was 3. I started taking
Ah,
acting class when I was 8. Began performing when I was 3. So telling stories in different ways, whether it's through dance, whether it's through theater, whether it's
mhm,
through singing, that's always appealed to me my entire life. And so
mhm,
I've always wanted to write.
mhm.
And I thought about it when I first married, and I sort of had a little detour when I had triplets.
Was that because
So
you're a guy technically named Wizard? If you take the first one, the way the trigger the
maybe,
paranormal. There you go.
maybe,
Hey,
but yeah.
you
So
had triplets. I was going to
yes,
say we need to flush that out because we can't have that in the bio without knowing more. So triplets. Wow.
triplets. They're 26.
Wow. 26 of them or just
No,
triplets?
they're
No, I'm
26
just
years
kidding.
old.
I
No. There's 3. There's 2 boys
There
and a
you go.
girl.
That's quite a load. Did you find you wrote during that time, or were you just too busy and I don't know.
I I've written some most of my life. I
Uh-huh.
just never had the courage to share it with anyone,
Ah, there you
and I
go.
never felt that it was good enough.
Mhm,
I uh, danced in college. I've always told stories through movement. I owned a
mhm,
studio, ran a dance company, raised my kids.
yeah.
Storytelling has been a part of my life all my life.
Yeah. Stories are the things that shape life, or as we always say, the owner's manual to life. It's great entertainment. I was so stupid. I didn't understand the importance of stories, even though I was a story collector for all my life. I didn't understand that everything was stories. Movies, TV, books,
Hmm.
everything. We love stories. It entertains us. It motivates us. It inspires us. We learn from stories. We learn from other people's lives. So when did you finally decide to, say, "Hey, I'm going to write and start pursuing getting this publishing deal"?
Probably about 5 years ago, I decided I wanted to really sit down and do something important.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to call it a midlife crisis, But I just wanted to do something very important for myself. I had spent a lot of time with my children through high school and college tutoring them.
Mhm.
And they had, kind of finished college and they've kind of got their lives set. And so, my time kind of freed up. And I said, this is it. It's now or never.
There you
So it's interesting because I finally did put my foot down and finally sat down and wrote something and took some classes and took some seminars and, learned what writing was all about and how to write well. And that's what's important, is how to write well.
So you finally got those darn triplets out of the house. And I'm just kidding. And now you've been able to focus on it.
Right. I've been able to do a little focusing on myself, and it's really been a very rewarding and a very growth experience in order to write a book and to share it with the world.
Yeah.
It seems that, I'm already into book 6. I seem to have a lot to say.
Yeah, you become a font of just literature that's just pouring out of you. So this is awesome.
Thank you.
Why have you been keeping it from us all this time? Well, we know you had triplets.
It had to be the right time.
There you go. It is kind of interesting how life works that way, where you have to find the right time and then it comes out of you. So as you've been writing the books, what sort of some people have different ways that they write. Is there a certain pattern or trick that you use to write every day, or do you have sort of rules and regulations? Like some people write in the morning, some people write at night. What's the thing that you find works for you? Because you've been pretty proficient with it so far.
I've been very proficient. I've been very disciplined. I write during the day. I brainstorm during those insomnia hours at night. I get some of my greatest ideas at 3:00 in the morning.
I need to do that when I'm not sleeping. Just get up and try and write some stuff.
I tried it once. I tried to get up and write at 3 a.m. and it's just awful. It just doesn't work. Thoughts come great, because that's, I think, when you have your clearest mind and your mind, it's the most open. So I usually make little notes with my phone.
Yeah.
Roll over and make little notes and try and go back to sleep. But I'm very, very disciplined about writing during the day. Sometimes I write in the morning, sometimes I write in the afternoon. I'm very disciplined about my outlines. I do outline and I'm very disciplined about that. But my muse has a tendency to take over from time to time, and we kind of go off on little tangents, but it's kind of fun.
There you go. I need to take inspiration from that when I'm having insomnia. Usually the only inspiration I'm usually having are thoughts going on in my head when I have insomnia is like, go the hell to sleep. We have to work tomorrow. Damn it. But maybe I could do a novel of a guy who has insomnia. And wait, did Stephen King do this novel? Sounds like that's something he already did. But about a man who's just has insomnia. Wasn't there a movie about a guy who couldn't go to sleep called Insomnia? I think it was called.
Yeah.
I think Robert De Niro or Al Pacino was in there or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe it's already been done. All the great stuff has already been done. But you're just kicking ass and taking names now. So is there a formula for? Is there lots of love scenes in the steamy love scenes in the book, or what's the pace of it you keep up through the book? Is it just going to be one big love scene or more?
No, there's some scenes that lead up to the love scene. And there's more than one love scene. And it kind of, I don't want to give too much away because it explores a lot about who those characters are, who those people are, how they fell in love, what is important to them, what resonates with them as a couple, and what resonates with them as individuals. But I will share that their first kiss is shared over chocolate molten lava cake.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good. I've had a few dates over chocolate molten lava cake. That stuff is good. Well, both are kissing and anyway, whatever. But no, I mean that's a romantic setup right there. Chocolate molten lava cake.
Chocolate molten lava cake. Yes.
Yeah, that's that right away. That gets the juices flowing. There's is chocolate, man. That's good stuff. What have we talked about that we can tease out? The one thing about novels is we can't talk about the middle and the end usually. What else have we teased out in the book that we should tease out?
The couple connects over Colin is the main lead character, and Brielle comes to renovate the chapel, and they actually connect over his history. His history is part of what the chapel is. His parents actually died in an accident just before the novel started. And that's how he learns that, that's why during the beginning of the novel, he learns that he has this hereditary duty because he wasn't really aware of it and his parents died suddenly.
Oh, wow.
But the chapel itself is actually a project of his mother's. And he kind of inadvertently inherits it. And he doesn't really want it. He's a lawyer from Edinburgh, and he, they call him solicitors there. We call them lawyers.
Yeah.
But he's a lawyer from Edinburgh, and he doesn't really want it. He's been called to the castle in order to deal with her, and he doesn't really want to deal with her. But then when he first meets her, and discovers that she has this rich knowledge of history of his family and how the McDougals are part of the Lord of Lorne, which were the original Vikings along the Western Isles in Scotland. Oh. And she has all this vast knowledge of what his family is and how important the chapel is to his family and how important is the castle and the history of his family. And initially when he first has to meet her, he's thinking, oh, what does this American know? Why would my mother, because his mother picked her, why would, but then when he meets her, he becomes very enchanted with the fact that she's very knowledgeable and finds the history of his family something very fascinating.
Wow.
And they actually connect over a dram of whiskey.
That's usually where I pick up all my dates, a dram of whiskey. There you go. In the bar. So this castle, have you been to this castle?
Yes, I have.
Go there and do research? Let me ask you this: had you been there before, and this went as inspiration of the story, or did you do it and going there for research?
I actually, my husband and I went this last June. We did a like week and a half, 2 weeks tour of Scotland, and we spent an entire day in Oban, Scotland. And Oban is one of the main little cities along the Western Isles of Scotland, and Dunstafnage Castle. And Donnelly Castle, which is both castles actually sit on the coast right near Oban, Scotland. And both of these were previously owned by the McDougall family and are part of their rich history.
Wow.
And they both actually appear in within the entire series. Dunstafnage appears in the first book, and then we learn about Donnelly in the third book.
Wow. Maybe this will get famous.
Go ahead.
It'll get even more famous with your books and become a stopping point. Everyone will start going by there.
Well, they're actually ruins, but they are very nice to visit. And they're very nice. They're nicely kept. The interesting thing is that Donnelly Castle, the McDougall family, actually got back recently, like within the last 10 years or so. So they actually own Donnelly still.
Wow. So they're not going to sell it to you. Probably anytime.
It's a ruin. No.
I mean, you could renovate it, and then it could be like a tourist thing for fans of your books. See, this
for billions, but sure.
This is the mind thing. Is it billion? Is it worth billions? Wow. Okay.
It's it would take billions to renovate it. It's actually rock. Yeah.
Well,
there's the family actually lives. There's a smaller home that was built much later, probably around the 19th century, that they actually reside in on the property.
There you go. Well, Margaret, just think big here. Just maybe write some more books and save. There you go. I don't know. It's just an idea. So I think there's a book launch you're doing, or some sort of gift basket or something. Tell us a little bit about that. There's a swag box or something. Yes.
The Stone of Love book swag box. It's actually a brainchild of mine, and it's actually taken off really well. I'm actually giving a number of these away, but the next one that I'm giving away will be this next Monday. It'll be on my Facebook page. I'll be hosting a Facebook launch party Monday, March 4th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you tune in, comment, we engage a little bit, I'll actually pick one of the people from the party in order to win the book swag box. What's in the book swag box is actually kind of fun. Naturally, the book. There is a bookmark. There is a recipe card that has chocolate molten lava cake recipe. That is on the recipe card. There's an author pen. There is a calendar from my publisher, Wild Rose Press. So there's a 2024 calendar, wall calendar, located with it. There is a stuffed animal from the lore in the book, and I'm not going to give it away because it's a special story, special fable in the book. There is a insulated metal wine glass because Brielle, the main character, loves Chardonnay. There is also a Dublin whiskey shot glass that is in both the wine glass and the shot glass have a special logo for Stone of Love etched on them. And then there's also a book bag.
There you go. That's funny. I'm looking at the picture. I won't tell what the creature is. But I've seen insulated mugs for like water and coffee. There's one for wine.
Yeah. It is a footed glass for wine. Isn't that hysterical?
There you go. Because sometimes you need that on the drive to work. Don't do that, people. It's a joke. It's when you're traveling between parties, but don't drink and drive. There you go. I didn't even know there was one for wine. There you go. So this sounds like fun. Where can people find your Facebook page? What name is it under, or link? Is there a link?
I gave you a link, but there is also, you can find it. It's Mizard Author, Mizard Author is
Okay.
where you can find me on my Facebook page.
There you go. Mizard Author. Look for that. Margaret Izard Author is the one that I have. I think this is your personal one, or is this your I think this is the fan page.
It's a fan page.
Yeah. So there you go. Search for that, folks, and you should be able to find it and get involved in that. So, Margaret, it's been fun to have you on the show. We talked about the steamy scenes. So I'll look forward to Book of Lust, Stone of Lust, I think it is.
Yes.
Stone of Lust. Anything, whatever the lust part is, just let me know. And people can pre-order it now, so they can get it wherever fine books are sold. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Give us any .coms we haven't covered here as we go out.
MargaretIzardAuthor.com, MargaretIzard author.com is where you can find me and my books.
There you go. Stone of Love, the Stones of Iona series, comes out March 4th, 2024. You're going to want to hurry up, order it, pre-read it, or pre-order it, pre-read, and read it. Just read it. Okay, come on. And then book 2 is going to come out June 12th, so you need to read it fast, eh? And then Stone of Lust, book 3, coming out in 2025, and watch for Thistle in the Mistletoe holidays from 2024. So there you go. A burgeoning, prolific author sits before us, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check out her works. Thanks for coming on the show, Margaret. Thanks for our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and Chris Voss, one of the TikTokity. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time.